365 Days 3! AKA the next 365 days, which is what everybody thought the second movie should have been called, except for the fact that the first 365 days hadn't actually finished yet, so they couldn't call it that. In fact, the first 365 days only occurred like right at the end of this movie. That's when her birthday hits. So that marks 1 year of kidnapping. Goody! And oh my god, where they leave us by the end of this, I was about to catch a charge by putting my head through the hotel walls. But we'll get there. And yes, this is my The Batman Edward Cullen shirt. Thank you so much for noticing. Now I know a lot of you worry about me when I have to make these, and honestly, watching and reading the books is oftentimes a nightmare, but the videos themselves are some of my favorite to make, especially the ones dealing with the books. I just love seeing how unhinged and ridiculous they get. It just really makes for a fun video with lots of banter, lots of just interesting moments. So, don't worry about me yet. And if you've been following along, I also cover the books for these movies. With the first one, I covered the book after the movie because it wasn't translated into English officially until then. The second one came out like months early, so I took care of it then. But for this one, I was slightly bamboozled. I originally read it was coming out in August, and then something changed saying it was September, but then it turns out it was actually, in fact, already out. But because of everything going on with my apartment and the work travel, I wasn't able to cover it. And I also thought it would be kind of fun just to see how the movie wraps up in its own contained universe, then go back and cover the book. So if you want the rundown with the full differences, because there are a lot of differences, I've never read a book where simultaneously so little happens, but then so much is just shoved in that happens. So I think they are pretty good times. So I'll have all the links down below to the videos on the movies and the books. So I will be covering the book. It'll probably just be in the next couple of months instead. So don't spoil anything if you've already read it. I'm serious. I'm quite invested at this point. But when I do get to the book, it'll be a breeze thanks to today's sponsor, Audible. I don't even think I need to say it, but I will. If you're looking for audiobooks and spoken word entertainment, Audible is the best place to find it. They offer thousands of different titles, from new releases to podcasts, to memoirs, to the book talk infamous, so you'll always be able to find your perfect piece of entertainment. Every month you get a credit that you can use on any title you want, including new releases that you get to keep for life. You'll also get access to the Audible Plus catalog, which gives members unlimited access to select audiobooks, podcasts, Audible originals, sleep tracks, and more at no additional cost. With all the work travel I've been doing, it's been great to have audiobooks for the plane, while I'm commuting, or just hanging out at the hotel trying to relax. Right now I'm going through Divergent in preparation for a future video, so get ready for that. And on top of all that, it's probably the only gift I'm ever gonna have to give my mom again. So if you're looking for new ways to laugh, be inspired, or just entertained in day-to-day life, make sure to head on over to audible.com/Jedi or text Jedi to 500-500 to get 30 days of Audible completely free. So quick rundown for where we left off. Laura thinks that Massimo cheated on her because she catches his twin brother sleeping with his ex, but didn't know he had a twin brother. Runs off with this Nacho guy who's actually the son of a rival mob boss and their hired hitman, but they genuinely hit it off. He's fun, he's exciting, caring. She catches some feelings, and he definitely does too, except that he had actually been instructed to try to gain her trust so that they could use her as a bargaining chip against Massimo. Except behind the scenes, Massimo's twin brother Adriano and his ex Anna were plotting against them. It turns into a huge shootout where Massimo shoots his brother, Anna shoots Laura, then Nacho shoots Anna to stop her from shooting Massimo. It's a big old what you say moment.
What you say?
Big insanity, and you're just left wondering, will she survive? Except obviously you're not actually wondering that. This is like the second time they've baited her death at the end of a movie. The movie actually tries to start off making us think she's dead for like a minute. So let's hop into this cursed movie, which by the end feels a hell of a lot more like 365 2.5 instead of 3653. Now you may remember that the last movie essentially just dissolved into a series of music video style montages and fucktages instead of having any kind of actual conversation. So that's pretty much how this one starts too, because we start right off with an actual song. It's never just soundtrack audio or some kind of like orchestral music or anything like that. It's always always some kind of song that feels like they're trying to sell an accompanying album. And just like last time, I counted every minute of this movie that was occupied by some kind of song and an accompanying montage, so actually just taking away from any kind of like genuine storytelling. And that amounted to a whopping roughly 32 minutes and 19 seconds. We're panning past the group of mobsters on the beach. We got Olga near in tears modeling a wedding dress saying that she misses Laura. Massimo's at a gravesite. And then he's just casually talking to the Matos family leader here. But we all know that if Laura was actually dead, this dude would not still be talking. Massimo would have pulled his jugular out through his asshole. Because obviously this is his twin Adriano's tombstone, not Laura's. Also, is that even a real picture of him, or did they just pop that in post? You be the judge. Shockingly crisp. Because of course Laura's not dead or even seriously incapacitated. You can't have the stalker-kidnapper movie without the stalked kidnappee. If for just once these movies could pick up directly from the tragedy or the conflict so we could maybe see how any of that plays out. But no, she's just fine. For like this next scene, he's gonna be like treating her delicately because of her near fatal injury, but it has no remote bearing on the remainder of the movie. Not even like a ooh, you know, nothing like that. And the only reason why it gets weird in this moment is because it seems like it's gonna be like a sex scene, but no music starts to build, so I assume it's not gonna progress, and I was right. Massimo's worried that she's still too injured and can't get into it. And other than that, and Olga mentioning that she should be resting and maybe not drinking at 11 a.m., there is no conflict arising from the fact that she almost died. Because almost immediately, all of her concern for Laura goes out the window. They plan on going out on the town, so they're immediately running off to get dressed. They kiss on the lips here. I never know why that keeps happening. It always feels like weird bait. I don't know. But after getting dressed up for the first time in a while, Laura sees this as her chance to seduce her own husband. Pulls the petulant, oh, I'm sorry, do you have a big mob boss meeting going on right now? I didn't want to disturb you with my nice dress here, which is just too much for him to ignore, and we get the angry frick sesh because he can't hold himself back and inswells the music. Also keep in mind that I occasionally have to use fun and creative language to appease my YouTube overlords, so bear with me as I say things like frictage and fricksesh. I love how they're literally in a room immediately next to all those men with the door open. I honestly assumed they were being super loud and the guys just kind of had to be like, yeah. But then he specifically tells her to be quiet, but the music's just been so loud at this point that I had no way of knowing that they weren't just like moaning up a storm. Frictage, frictage, frictage. I think something is fundamentally broken in my brain now. Okay, so she and Olga leave, and honestly not sure how they were able to. I feel like the movies really don't do a good job stressing how she's literally felt like a prisoner for protection purposes. We just see Massimo rocking up pissed off every time. Like she even acknowledges that she didn't tell Massimo where she was going or that she was even leaving. So obviously he's gonna bop up just like last time they tried to have a little private getaway. Also, this whole scene just ends up looking like a music video or an ad for a travel company. Honestly, if it wasn't for all the weird sex shit, these movies would probably be like really fun to be in because they just get to chill in all these beautiful European location. Literally my dream. Again, outside of like the dudes. Like honestly, I cannot stress the fact that this whole scene is literally just a montage of them eating. Until Nacho calls. Team Nacho baby!
Where did you get my number?
You know, I am who I am.
Oh, that dialogue. So Olga clearly senses that something's up. Laura's mood immediately shifts and she wants to know everything that happened to her on the island. And she immediately judges Laura for how close she feels to this Nacho dude because she describes him as being like a new best friend. But bestie, best friend? You had so many sex fantasies about that man. You wanted to be the melty cheese between his nacho chips. Yeah, definitely not okay as a person on some kind of fundamental level anymore. Sick. Cool. But she explains that she felt free with Nacho, that he was there when her world was falling apart, and Olga immediately points out that it sounds like she's in love with him. Good thing you're not married to a rival mob boss or anything. No time for emotions, though, it's club time. And wow, at first it looked like Massimo wasn't showing up, but Domenico does, which seems to immediately harsh Laura's vibes. It seemed like she was more down for like the bestie club time. But not to worry though, Massimo is here and shows up just as she thinks she sees Nacho at the bar. So this next scene is weird. Massimo pulls her into a private room that has a pole dancer in it, and they sit and start to watch her, but when Massimo tells her to leave, Lara tells her to stay. And then just like makes him watch her as she's like caressing his crotch area. But then she gets up and like baits a kiss with her and asks her to leave. It's just the weirdest like 20 to 30 seconds of the movie. And you know what? Do not bait a gay kiss for the male gaze. Don't do it. You just don't do it. And instantly, new song swells in as she starts giving him a blowy that is just so extra, it looks like she's on a seesaw or some shit. I really can't show it lest I be restricted, but just know, it's excessive. The limit truly does not exist for these frictages, I swear. So at this point, everything kind of seems like it's okay between them, except Massimo can't sleep because he senses that something must have happened on the island. And it's a very abrupt rage out of nowhere, and it like completely escalates. She says nothing happened between her and Nacho, which is a lie, and Massimo seems to know it's a lie. Partly because he's a mob boss, and partly because he's like, you left here under the impression that I cheated on you and then had this like hunky piece of man here. But she rightfully points out that she never would have assumed he was cheating on her if he had let her know he had a twin. And yeah, I am actually a big fan of the movie changing that. If you don't remember, in the book, she was fully aware that he had a twin brother and had been bamboozled by him earlier in the book, so there was no reason for her being as dumb as she was and not at least stopping to try to figure out what was going on. It's just bad looks to have me yelling that the person who got kidnapped is a dumbass. But then he just throws back that his twin brother is the only reason why he even found out she was ever pregnant and that she lost it at the end of the first movie. It's just a mess everywhere, and again, I must ask, how the hell did the twin Adriano know that she was pregnant and lost it? She wasn't far enough along to be showing. How would he know?
It was my baby.
It was our baby, who died because of your enemies.
What a super stable and awesome marriage that we're building here. What a secure future. I definitely feel safe. It's not too late to order some nachos, girl. Again, how am I in a position where I am rooting for the opposing mob family's hitman who in the book actually did also kidnap her? It's so much. It's so good. And she's thinking about it too because the shattered glass on the ground is reminding her of how Nacho delicately picked her up so she wouldn't cut her feet. Yeah, girl, he was fun and kind and still provided that like slight dangerous edge you clearly enjoy and has the cash. Massimo does end up carrying her to bed, but it's not until after she passes out. He's all tormented and broken while she's just having this big fantasy about smashing Nacho. Okay, look, I said I was gonna sue the next thing that made me see dude butt, so Netflix, my attorneys will be in touch. Even in her dreams, it's a music video style frictage, which she wakes up to find that Massimo is the one going down on, and she just immediately stops being into it, which he notices and gets pissed. Ah shit, sorry, my husband, you intruded on my sex fantasy. So he storms off, and it is literally less than a minute before we're into another song.
You gave yourself.
I'm sure this video feels almost identical to the last one because these movies have been almost exactly the same. No time to dwell though, we're gonna get subjected to him rubbing one out in the shower. For why, Netflix? For why? She does try to clear things up with him, but he won't talk to her or stay near her, just slams his sunglasses on the ground and storms off like a little baby boy, so she decides, hey, if my marriage is falling apart, might as well focus on my career that I only have because my husband bought it for me. And another song! It's basically just a montage of her getting super excited about her design work, which is awesome, and him just being moody doing mob shit. Give me the mob drama. Like they literally just bump into each other in passing and still don't talk, so Lara's finally really realizing that things might not be okay. And they aren't okay. Massimo ends up having a meeting at a club, and instead of leaving when the hired girls and drugs come in, he says he's gonna stay. Starts ripping fat lines of coke off this tray as a whole new song swells in and all these girls come over to do things with him. And while this is all happening, the other girls are just getting completely railed on the side. It's very intense. It's very excessive for Netflix. And he almost starts making out with one, but keeps flashing back to Lara before he storms off. Very intense scene. There was some weird stuff with some masks. I didn't like it. And again, breaking my personal contract that the only sex scenes I feel like we should be subjected to are the ones between Massimo and Lara. This Emmy girl she works with is just getting rammed at the design office for no reason, no bearing to the story. She seems almost annoyed that Lara's here. Girl's just like, oh, sorry, didn't realize you were coming in so early. This is my new muse. I can't. I cannot. Laura's fine that it was happening, but it seems to exist as a way for her to be like bummed that her own life is kind of like not going the way she expected or wanted it to, but there's no time to dwell here because Olga just busts in saying they were invited to Portugal for a Fashion Week fair with their designs. I'm sorry, has Olga been contributing anything to the designs? So they're off to another song, and I swear we had some of these same shots in the last movie. But instead of being happy and excited in Portugal, Laura's just bummed out because Massimo is refusing to talk to her, and she's kind of accepting that she doesn't think their relationship can be fixed. But Olga finally convinces her to go out for drinks to get her mind off of it, so they head to a beach where there's a surfing competition happening. I also like that as they're walking up the beach, they make a point to have every dude stop and blatantly stare at them fully clothed. It is ridiculously noticeable. Like, Laura's attractive, but you're being excessive. But the surfing just reminds her of Nacho and their lessons together and how it's primal. Yeah, Laura, I get it. I chase waves too. If I had footage of me going yippee and wahoo every time a wave was washing around me in France or Savannah, I'd cut it in here just so you could fully appreciate how much of a badass I am. But of course, Nacho is one of the contestants in this surf competition. Because why wouldn't he be? So they go to make their escape and Olga's like, don't worry, I got this. I'll shield you with my body. Honestly, God bless that woman. She makes so much of these movies palatable. Like, they overdo it with her at times, but this worked. But he definitely takes notice of her, and I bet he knows that that's her best friend Olga because he's a mob hit guy, so he's definitely gonna pop back up. But Olga now obviously wants every small detail, which means another music montage. Like, you could just actually have Laura explain some of this stuff for the people who might have already forgotten what happened in the last movie, but I guess that would get in the way of their drinktage. And once again, it all caps off with her having a sex dream, a very artistic one, to music with lighting. I feel like if she was that upset about her failing marriage, Massimo would be the one to pop up in a dream here, but no. She starts to wake up in the morning and is positive she sees Nacho, but falls asleep again. But then when she wakes up, there's a little surf keychain next to her, so it seems like he did actually track her down. No time to figure any of that out, though. It's time for more dance party at a fashion show. And again, they kiss. Please, people of Poland, can you please let me know if it's normal to kiss your besties like this? Is that just a thing that happens down there real casually? Down there, over there? I just need to know. Is platonic homie kissing a thing? But as they're enjoying their time, Olga starts getting way too drunk and this large dude carries her away. I do assume that this is one of like Massimo's guards watching them because she doesn't seem super concerned that someone is carrying her away, more just annoyed. Thankfully, she does know him. It's Vittorio, and Laura asks him to bring her back to the room so she wouldn't completely become a drunk disaster.
Mrs. Olga, please stop.
I'll go to my room by my own.
But Dum Dum walks away from her for like 2 seconds, so she just does a runner through the hotel. And it just turns into this whole chase, like, man's just trying to do his job out here and he's stuck babysitting a 30-year-old. But back with Laura, she's run into Nacho's sister who asks if they can talk. But was this like some kind of actual fashion show that was guaranteed some kind of promotion? Because they lingered on them for quite a while after Central Cast left the shot. What a confusing choice. But Emilia starts to tell her about how Nacho became a shadow of a man after everything that happened, and she's just so happy to see Laura up and well. She tries to explain away Nacho setting her up to be used as mob bait by being like, he's just so loyal to his father, but it does suck.
I didn't talk to him like for a week.
Oh, well, okay, if you didn't talk to him like for a week, that's serious business. But Emilia wants Laura to give Nacho a chance to explain himself because obviously he's there. And because Vittorio is busy dealing with Olga trying to climb out fire escapes and there's no one around to see Laura leave the event, which she does. I hope this poor man doesn't get let go for leaving a clear line for Nacho.
What is wrong with you? I want to go to party.
So they're talking and Laura blames him, not for manipulating her, but just for showing up and ruining her perfect life. Ma'am, I don't think it was so perfect because you only ran away with him because it was not in fact perfect. Even before the cheating that wasn't actually cheating, your night was a disaster. Then she instantly starts kissing Nacho, and look, I'm mad because she talks a big game, then pulls the same shit she accuses Massimo of. Because Massimo towed the line, but he hasn't actually been able to cheat. Meanwhile, Laura's out here creating an entire emotional relationship with this dude who's also falling in love with her and macking on him. But I'm still Team Nacho. They should be together, and Laura just needs to stop sucking. I'm about to make some Team Nacho shirts. Who would buy a Team Nacho shirt? I feel like maybe we get like a nacho chip, like surfing, and this is Team Nacho. Let's look into that. So I guess that was the full chat though. 3 lines before they kiss and he's driving her back to his place to more music. Okay, it does seem like maybe they will actually have more of a conversation because he didn't take her back to her hotel. And while it may seem like a weird thing to say, the thing these movies need more of is melodrama. No one actually says anything. There's barely any drama buildup. Even the books flesh it out like a little bit more, but still not enough. But they do chat. Nacho rightfully points out that she can run from him, but not from her feelings. They almost kiss again, but now she feels guilty and wants to go back to the hotel. But not because she's completely shutting it down, she just says she needs time. And he says he'll wait the rest of his life.
Maybe you'll have to wait forever.
Jesus Christ, no mention of Massimo though, love that. Then we get the weirdest scenario to push for an intimate moment ever.
My purse.
Yeah, your purse that was just so conveniently so far on the other side of him like that? You couldn't just ask him to hand it to you? I'm so annoyed. Look, just fuck if you want. Don't pull this sideways shit. But he does stop and ask if she's sure, even though she hasn't really initiated anything. She seems paralyzed with fear, actually. Like, I see the tremors. He tries to say what I assume was gonna be like, you think I only want sex, but no. But then she's just like on him and they're ripping off clothes to another song. So much for him having to wait forever. All while he's giving her words of affirmation, how he'll love her and always protect her. He's tender and firm. Man, I don't know what Massimo's gonna do when he finds out she cheated on him so thoroughly. Also, did they hire an artistic schmorn director for this? Like, these scenes have been constantly shifting. They're dynamic. There's multiple moves and positions. It feels like they set up those shots with intention, but I guess that is the intention. And again, we shift right out of one song into another as they're being cuddly. But she's still feeling conflicted though, but honestly, if property location is also on the table for consideration, Nacho's place is way nicer. So she makes him take her back to the hotel where she is obviously very concerned about, Massimo's impending freakout. Which is when Nacho reveals to her that he saved Massimo by shooting Anna specifically so Laura would have the choice. He doesn't want to be the default or get his happiness as a result of her suffering. Nice, my guy.
I want you to want me.
I want you to want me. Honestly, if that song had ripped out of nowhere, I would have been great with it. I would have fully allowed it. Amazing. Other than the mob killer stuff, this dude is just tossing out green flags left and right. Team Nacho, baby. But she gets back to her hotel where obviously Massimo is waiting and definitely knows that Laura is lying.
You dirty
Liar!
I'm surprised they didn't toss in a, I can smell him all over you.
I'm one step away from asking you for divorce.
Yeah, no shit, girl. He should also be one step away from asking you for a divorce. You cheated on him again. Which he seems to know but isn't specifically saying. But of course, now he wants to talk to her, but she's not having his anger, and she can tell that he's been doing drugs again. They honestly kind of deserve each other for how mutually trash they are, but it's fine. Just get the divorce, sweeties. She tells him to leave so she can think in peace, and this movie can't even give her some peace in the shower without turning it into a Diddy shot. So he leaves, she fills in Olga, and she is pissed as shit. Thinks Laura is destroying her family for dick, but like, what family? Massimo is one guy who never opens up to her, never shares anything, didn't even tell her that he had a twin brother, and again, kidnapped her? Laura thankfully points out that she's being a little bit trash, and it seems like Olga's more concerned with her own future than Laura's happiness and well-being. Cause yeah, I think their friendship might be a little bit hard if Laura runs away with a rival mob boss and her besties marrying into her ex's family. So they make up, it's all fine, but Laura decides that the place to clear her head would be at her parents' place where she gets to on a motorcycle. Okay, I can get behind badass Laura. It's her best self, which Nacho brings out. Massimo would run that motorcycle through a garbage compactor. So her parents push to figure out what's wrong, cause like if things were going okay, she'd probably be celebrating her birthday with her husband, and Laura just slips out, I'm in love with someone else. Then drops the,
My name is Nacho.
Okay, for 2 seconds, put yourself in the parents' shoes. You've accepted that your daughter has abruptly gotten married, which was way more dramatic in the book and more conflict heavy with the mom because the situation is messed up. Reminder that in the book, Massimo essentially tricked her into getting pregnant, so she was pregnant the entire second book and the mom finds out and hadn't realized she'd been married this time. But even just taking it from the movie, you accept your daughter's abrupt marriage to a rich man who can't exactly tell you why he's so rich, and then she just shows up to say that she's in love with someone else named Nacho. So of course she explains to another song, Taj.
I can lie to myself.
Look, again, the solution to you not being able to get good performances out of your actors is not to bury all the dialogue with music. And like, did she explain the mob stuff being used as a bargaining chip getting shot? But by the end, the mom asks, if you weren't married, who would you choose? And Laura says she doesn't know, but really? When have you actually been happy with Massimo outside of sex? Have we seen that anywhere? Have they ever had fun? Do they ever smile or laugh together? No. Like maybe one time. Because he sucks and needs therapy. And honestly, she sucks and needs therapy. Because literally any of the advice the mom's giving her leads back to Nacho. But later that night, she finally does have a dream about Massimo, but then Nacho slips in too. And then they get the dudes to kiss. And you know what? Stop that. Stop it right now. This feels homophobic. But hey, we switch things up when we get a motorcycle music montage with her dad. And the day is going great until Olga starts to spam call her. Side note, what is up with these random nuns judging her? Like lots of background character action in this one. Either way, Olga finds out that Massimo seems to know everything that happened with Nacho and thinks he's going to kill Laura and her. She spent some time learning Italian and specifically heard Nacho fucked Laura. So Laura comes to the conclusion that she needs to go back to Sicily. I don't know, maybe talk that one out over the phone, champ, but you know, she rightfully thinks that there must be a reason that Massimo hasn't done anything about it yet, which fair. Honestly, it just seems like he's been a boiling pot the entire time.
Answer me! Liar! Hey, I'm talking to you. Fuck!
So back to Sicily she heads, and her taxi driver is Nacho, putting his life at risk, breaching the treaty agreement, but he needed to talk to her. Says that he finally understands what it's like to be friends with your lover, that he wants to experience everything with her, and yeah, I don't think her and Massimo are or have ever been friends. But she says she still needs to talk to him, that she needs more time. We're just delaying what I believe is the inevitable, and the inevitable is some cheesy nachos. So she gets back and Olga is all ready for the quick escape. She's got all their stuff packed so they can bail. Look, the fact that she sincerely believes that Massimo would try to kill them both because of this is just reason enough to run away immediately. But the reaction when Olga realizes that Nacho is the taxi driver.
Pojebało cię?
But he just says happy birthday and leaves, and Olga's like, oh my god, you're gonna die on your birthday.
Jakbyś przeżyła, to ja ci kupiłam taką super torebkę, w razie czego ja ją będę nosić.
But she finds Massimo, who says that he hasn't been able to forgive himself since finding out that Laura didn't feel comfortable coming to him after losing the baby, that she had to deal with it alone.
He has destroyed me.
And all she has to say about this is just pointing out that he knew everything about Nacho for a long time but didn't do anything. Except, like, he kind of freaked out a couple times.
Answer me! Liar! Fuck!
But all he does is share a parable from a book his dad used to read him. And if you think this is going to be something unique or special, no. Oh, no.
If you really love something, just let it go. If it comes back, it's yours forever. If it doesn't, it was never meant to be.
Yeah, the most used quote about relationship attachment ever. Like my guy, just say, you know the saying, if you love something, let it go. No, it becomes this big dramatic thing and she's just playing along like, yeah, wow, your dad was a really great father. But then he asks the question that we're all wondering, is she back to be his forever?
Are you back, baby girl?
He did it! He said the thing! Yes! She better say no though, cause fuck all this. Your entire relationship can't be some guy moody, brooding, angry at you and then having like brief moments of vulnerability every time he thinks he's gonna lose you. But this is where I became acutely aware that we had about 3 minutes to get this wrapped up. And I'm thinking like, I don't know if they can really close this off in that much time. Because all it's doing is playing another song as the cameras just swirl around them and I'm just waiting for an answer, bumping Netflix up to 1.5 speed. And then I start to verbally react to my screen like, what the hell is this? She needs to say something now. We don't have time for a resolution. But no, don't you dare pan over that ocean. And that's when I realized, oh my god, no. Oh no, there's gonna be another one. No! Whew, so that might seem like an exaggeration, but I went ahead and started recording my live reaction. So yeah, can't wait to do this again and see who she picks. Better be Nacho. I will say though, the other simultaneous thought in my head was, Oh, sick! Content! I am a problem. I am part of the problem. I am a cog in the machine and I can't escape. I am having fun though. It's not confirmed yet, and you could make the assumption that the movie's made it clear in little ways that it's endorsing Nacho while leaving it open for the Massimo stands, but they've left themselves open for more. But yeah, that's the movie. If you read the book, please don't spoil it. I will be getting to it in the next month or two. I am some level of excited to see how much more of a shit show it is, because there's always so many different extended plot lines going on there that there's still barely anything happens. But yeah, this one was just really so goddamn boring. Like, I know the last one was too, but this just feels like an extended scene of the last one. It doesn't feel like its own movie. At least the last one had a what you say style shootout to end it off. The most violent and over-the-top stuff that happened in this movie was some of the sex scenes. Oh my god. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think at this point, honestly, maybe you guys should just watch these instead of the actual movie. Like, please let it be that I watch this so you don't have to, and maybe things like First Kill won't get canceled. But that is gonna do it for today's video. Thanks again so much to Audible for sponsoring, and thanks as always to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members for the support. Thanks again so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing. Follow my social medias that I will have listed down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later.